was pretty good.
Yeah, the 5000 drove this amp really nice on the AM though. But it was old technology. I had to go down the road there, Red Dave.
Hello.
More than 85 years old myself.
I love the FTDX 5000, but it was getting a little long in the tooth. And the amount of money I got for it today, if I kept it another year, yeah.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. BTK and 2MDX.
Hi, Billy.
What's going on?
You are.
I reconfigured everything here to get rid of the hum.
Yeah, it's nice and quiet, man.
Yeah. Well, there were a number of bad things that were happening.
Hey, Giant.
Thanks for your report.
Sounded good there, Billy man.
Yeah. I got a nice working scope over here again.
What'd you do, buy one?
Yup. I got one for good price on Fleabay. And it works really well. Probably better than my old one. And I was still going to try to fix that thing because it's pretty cool.
Did you get a modern scope?
No, it's still kind of an old one. It's a Tech 2236.
Okay, good. I've done my job.
Modern ones, I don't know if they work that well for this.
They need to have a... Some of them work just fine, but they have like a persistence that's done in software that you wouldn't get with a cheesy modern one.
Well, I kind of got to get this looking a little better. I have a camera for it now, so you can see it on the stream there.
Cool beans. Excellent.
Hello. Maybe that's better.
I gotta bring that up. I was reading up about spy activity.
Uh-oh. Where's Tommy?
I think he's back in his cage.
Yeah. Well, he sounded good on that DX100 the other night.
Yeah, I think I gave him some audio tubes. Here you go. Now I can sound like you guys. I gave him some audio tubes, and yeah, he put them in there.
Nice. What'd you give him? 807s?
No, 1625s. How you like my my trucker reverb?
Man, that's nice.
Yeah, it's not bad. It seems like it's folding back a little bit.
You know what that is? That's the Waller turned down really low. Just giving me a little bit of the latency from the processor and room acoustics.
You should go, "Whoa."
This is really stupid.
Sounds like you're talking out of a tin can, Rin Tin Tin.
Well, I thought me and you were going to get on 11 meters. I wanted to warm up.
This thing's not modified. I mean, I just have to get the tweezers out and the soldering iron and go to town on it. Make it 11 meter modified.
Yeah, wait till you get your other rig.
Yeah, man. What's going on, Billy?
Not much, man. Been going crazy with work this weekend, and that's about it. Boo Boo's over here hanging out. She's very talkative today.
That's the real BTK, Boo Boo the kitty.
Yup.
How many cats you got?
Just one.
One happy pussy?
Yeah.
Did I just do that? Yeah, I did.
Yeah, dude, she's got her own quiet house. Like, she was living with 2 other cats before. She was raised in hell. She hated it. Now I think she's better.
So both flagship radios are gone off the desk. Now we got some room.
Testing. Hello, Dave. How come when I talk it doesn't make little Christmas trees? Hello. Hello.
Okay.
Because females don't have the conviction like a male.
Yo, Mikey.
Bet that made Christmas trees.
Christmas trees are nice. They show up on the little green, whatever thingamabob that is. Oscilloscope, is that?
Try talking into the mic.
Hello.
Yeah.
Welcome to the W2VW Radio Shack. Today, it is Rochester gray outside with a bit of rain. Our plants are dying, and Halloween is over.
What are you, Bob Ross?
Wow, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm turning in my license now.
Dave, you see my my Christmas trees?
No, I got to I've got to log on and bring up your site. I have not done that yet. That's next on the list.
Nah, don't worry about it. I'm just all pumped up about it because now I have Christmas tree cam. Let's see. Yeah, we'll zoom in on the Christmas tree a little more.
He blew it up.
No, I did. I had one drive that went out.
Well, that's funny you said. I was at Walmart today, and believe it or not, they had a gaming PC in there, and it was really nice. Oh, Billy had 256 gigabyte SSD, I guess, hard drive, whatever they call that damn thing. It had oh wait, I gotta bring up the specs. Hold on. It had a GTI NVIDIA video card in there too.
Oh yeah? Which one?
Probably not the one you're using.
Mine's not that great. Mine's like the lowest end of like the last generation. They just came out with new ones and you can't get them. There's just no supply of them, so they exist apparently.
I'm going to show you this machine. And for the price, I think it was pretty good, but you tell me. Hold on.
W2 very weak.
And 2 MDX.
W2 BTK. That was pretty good. It's still got 30 seconds.
What about 30 seconds?
No, I still had, like, from the point I said that, I had 30 seconds left before I had to ID.
Oh, okay. I get it.
You know what? It's only a 1060. Is that decent?
That's like a couple, I mean, yeah, it depends on what you're doing. You know, for most people, that'd be like just fine.
No, I'm going to get into gaming with it.
Get one of the new ones, man. Wait a couple months.
Well, they got a nasty machine right here for $1446. This thing is nasty, man. This is AMD Ryzen 9 3900X, 8-core 3.8 processor with the RTX 2070 Super 8 gigabyte graphics. That's nice.
Dude, again, they're coming out with new Ryzen chips in a couple days. Just wait a couple months before you buy a computer. Trust me. Like, they've literally just dropped, like, all new crap. Bunch of... Just wait a few months. You'll end up with way better stuff.
All right.
And don't buy a pre-built.
Dude, I don't want to build it, man. I'm sick of building these machines. I just want something all together, plug and play.
Hey, Daniel, what's up? Which
you
web
get something that
SDR?
works well, and you find out that it's a main RF garbage.
I put a bunch of chokes inside my computer when I made it, plugged it all in.
Yeah, good idea. All right, I'm on here, but I'm not logged in, and I'm not going to be logged in.
That's cool. You see the Christmas trees?
Nope.
Hello, Christmas.
Oh, you mean the scope?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that looks nice. That looks very nice.
Yeah, see? I'm not punishing my 3 diode setup.
It looks good. You know what you need now is you always need something else, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a copy of the IF of your receiver?
Yeah, it's down in the lower third area of my thing.
Yeah, but you need to put an envelope display up. Why is my audio higher than it was? You need to put an envelope display of that up. That would look really cool.
I wonder if the software has a window that'll do that. I don't. Yeah, that would be. I'd have to get dual scopes going. Or actually, no. This has 2 channels. I could do that.
Do you like the Alienware PCs, Billy?
No.
Too commercial, right?
Don't buy pre-built.
Well, because of the motherboard integrated shit, right?
Just, dude, it's not that much stuff. Just buy the stuff you want. Like, put it together yourself. You save money and get better stuff.
Yeah, sit there and install Windows 10. So much fun.
What do you mean, dude? It's just you load it onto a flash drive, pop it in there, and let it run.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the marijuana question?
You want some?
No, but what do you think about the question on your ballot?
Well, in general, I'm not gonna vote to say what people can and can't do in their own home. I'm not gonna, in general, say I don't want people to be able to do something. So on that principle.
Yeah, well, if it gets legalized, it's not going to be any fun anymore.
Oh, no, they got good weed, man. They got really good medicinal weed.
Are you mailing in your ballot there, Dave, or are you going to go vote in person?
I dropped mine off in the town box underneath the security camera last night.
Nice.
Yep. We took selfies, and there's some guy hanging out there, sitting in his car. I thought he was going to try to persuade me to vote one way or another. He was there. He looked very, like he was up to no good.
That was Mike Pence. That was Mike Pence sitting in the car. You didn't see him?
Really? It could have been.
He's a weird freaking guy.
I can hardly wait until the world ends.
Wow.
Which is just exactly where we're headed.
Probably.
Yeah, well,
At least I can say that my backup rig worked really well before the end.
band's really quiet. This is nice.
Yeah, this is beautiful, man. The Cormers are probably still hung over from last night. They're just rolling out of bed.
Yeah, it's true. We're on a little earlier than usual, huh? I think that's probably a wise move. This is a good time of day.
Well, I got on, I was messing around with the bands, and I said, you know what? Let's try this thing, try to set up this 7300 on AM, and made some noise, and out came Dave.
I was here before you were, but you didn't hear me because I didn't transmit. That's how it works, I found out.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm glad I pulled you out of the carpet. You were getting rug burns. I had to pull you out of the carpet.
Yeah, me and the little critters that live in the rug.
How long do you think they've been in there?
I don't know. They can survive for a real long time. W2 very weak. See if I... Man, I got a lot of proximity effect with this. This shouldn't be that way. What the heck? Where's my... Oh, man. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Oh, man, that's awful. Hello, hello, 555. All right, we'll deal with this. Yeah, buddy. Hey, the grid current is starting to go away on this valve.
Oh, you burning in a new one? Yeah, check this out. I'm going to tap my mic. Let's see what this pattern looks like. Wow.
Yeah, you definitely have frequency response. Let's see.
Sound like air.
MD200 microphone, and all the people that use them, it's a desk mic, and they all, like, while they're talking, they have, like, this desk mic rolling around sound.
Yeah. You need some kind of isolation. Mine's lagged to my desk on a boom, but it's got suspension, so we're all good.
You know, I got zero modulation iron now, so I can pass sub-audible tones here all day long. It won't affect anything in the least. I changed my ID over to FSK.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wait, do it again.
No.
What?
I didn't say I did. I said I could.
Oh.
That's not allowed, though. You're allowed, you can use CW, but not FSK to legally ID. Not using AM anyway.
But Clark said...
Exactly.
Womp womp. Clark, that was your cue.
I'm working on some modified Heising reactors here for reals.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. That stuff for Tommy got some. Those are pretty beefy.
Yeah, well, I'm never going to do anything with them, I don't think, so I might as well just give him that stuff, and it'll be kind of fun. And he even, first we started out with the thing was going to be remoted, but now he has a climate-controlled area, so we're going to keep the factory exciter and do the same thing you're doing with the plate supply. So it ought to be close to legal limit.
That's badass.
It'll be interesting to see how he does.
Yeah. Be better if you had different antenna situation, but still, it might work okay like that.
Yeah, well, he's pretty much maximized what he has. I'm confident that there's nothing short of going outdoors and changing stuff. Yeah, there's nothing left there. He's got it. He's squeezing every last bit of performance out of it that he can.
Well, that's good exercise.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta yank it.
Tell us more, Mikey.
Just gotta yank it out and just keep, you'll get it. Add some more power.
More power. How much more power do you need?
Ask yourself that, Dave.
Let me see. Yay. 5. There you go, Mikey. How's that?
It's a pin job.
Yeah, okay. Am I running out of headroom yet?
You're good over here, and we're pretty close. How about you, Billy?
He's got good signal over here. I want to know, well, it's a two-part question. What's Mikey's signal strength at your place, Dave?
The DFQOM signal.
I put this back where it was. That's stupid. Last I looked, it was like 50 over. Let me see, Mike.
Yeah, I remember I'm really pushing only like a quarter of the amplifier because it's just, I don't have any gain come out of this stupid little icon. So it's, I don't got much going out.
Yeah, you're right at 50 over with no modulation, and you're getting about a 5 dB uptick.
Okay, and am I close?
That was 48.
You're the strongest one to me. AA3RE.
AA3RE, hear ya. W2BTK. Well, good, Dave, good, because that's about right.
There you go.
Live from the battleship, it's Peter. Hello, Peter.
Pete?
From the battleship? Battleship Barker and Williamson?
I don't think there's any ships where he is.
I think he was referring to my radio, maybe. Battleship Anchor.
Yeah, he said the call was AA3RE?
AA3RE, Alpha 3 Radio Energy.
Oh, yeah, that's referring to your webpage with all the ships.
Oh, yes, but I never served on a battleship.
All right, well, I'm pretty close. There you go.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, there's plenty of pictures that... If there's not a picture there to get a conversation started, I'm not doing anything right.
Mikey's got a friend that was on a battleship. He looks like one, too.
My uncle was on the Jersey.
Nice. Here's Mike in the calls November 2, Mike Delta X-Ray in Beechwood, New Jersey.
That was a little fast for my pen. November 2, Mike Delta X-Ray. What was the name?
Mike! Like the microphone you're talking on, Mike.
MTM.
Yeah.
Mikey the Moron.
My B&W 5100 Bravo. And, yep, Schwenksville, PA. The voices all sound familiar. I don't know. But anyway, y'all all have good signals here in Schwenksville.
Very good. Let me turn it over to Billy the Cornball. Go ahead, Billy. That's with a K.
Yeah. That's just make sure you got it right. It's Mikey. Oh, excuse me. I'm eating string cheese. Mikey the Moron.
Billy the Cornball with the K.
Is that nice? How you doing, Peter? This is Dave, W2 Very Weak. We spoke about 3 weeks ago.
Yes, very weak, and I have the video gate of you on backscatter on 10 meter yay
Yeah, I think that was using what was that, like a NEMS Clark or something unusual?
I really don't know. We're going back a few years at this point. I have to review the video gate.
Yeah, it was some. It wasn't your typical ham receiver.
I was using, I believe, probably the same transmitter before it went up in flames and before I had to restore it.
Is that true? There's no indication of grid current on a B&W 5100?
Well, my modulation transformer started spewing flames. That's when I was like, that's it, ripping it all apart, rebuilding everything.
How long have you been listening on 10 meters? Like how many years?
Probably since I first got licensed, and well, no, not initially, because I had the technician, so it would probably have been around 98 or 99 when I got the general.
And you remember Mo, used to be W5KD. I forget that he got a different call. He had a B&W 5100. He was always on 10 meter AM.
Yeah, the cycle at that point, I was more on 6 meters than 10 meters. The cycle peak around 2000, it was unbelievable for 6 meters. It was, well, my first, cycle on 6, and I had stacked 5-element beams and a 400 watt amp, and it was unbelievable. It was like 20 meters on a good day kind of thing. It was just, you could work everybody everywhere, and then it was stable.
Yeah, that must have been so much fun.
It got to the point, I was working third shift at the time, so it worked out pretty well for me working Europe. So I'd get home from work in the morning, I'd get on, fire up the rig, and I'd be working Europeans all over the place. It got to the point where everybody worked everybody in all their grid squares, and they actually sat down and had conversations.
Imagine that.
You know how 6 meters can be.
Actually, I have not spent very much time on 6 meters. When I first moved here, there was a lot of young kids, and they had baby monitors, and cordless phones were still on, right next door to 6 meters. And I got on the air with an HA460 for about 5 minutes. I heard from 3 different people.
Oh, I see. Well, in short, the way the conditions could be on 6, nobody gets into long conversations typically. It's, call sign, exchange grid squares, signal report, maybe a couple of pleasantries and move on. Because you never know when he's gone and the conditions change kind of quickly, but it wasn't like that. Everybody got beyond call signs and grid squares and had QSOs.
Yep. Well, for a while before that, I was on 6 meter slot bucket with a transverter, and I managed to work W2IDZ, who shows up at all the old QSTs that I used to drool over from high school on in the 50 megahertz worked all state standings. He was like the top of the heap there, and any post-war or the standings, he was there. He was somebody who I knew about, and I knew that he was really experienced on that band, so I was lucky to get to talk to him before he passed on. But his big saying was, see you all of a sudden.
I spent a lot of time on 6 meters. I really enjoyed that band because I could really do something with a small footprint, antennas and everything. And it was, I had properties of HF and VHF properties, and meteor scatter and tropospheric ducting, and it was a pretty good band. But I'm not quite sure what you're referring there. AA3RE.
Yep, so I'm talking about 6 meters. 6 meters slot bucket. Yeah, being here, we get a lot of ducting. It's ridiculous how much ducting you get here by the water.
I was jealous of the guys along the coast at times, especially during contests when they'd be in the duct, and man, I can't hear them. But I've had my share of ducting on, my Elmer was a VHF, UHF guy, so my first few years in ham, I really dove into that deep once I found out there was more than FM and repeaters. Like, oh, this sideband stuff is pretty cool. Then I started going with big gain antennas and stacking beams and, all that kind of nonsense. I was on 6 through 1296, 222 and 903 included, and had a real blast on those bands for a few years.
Yeah, and you learn your way around hardware like that. You say what you want about incentive licensing. Some of the best technically proficient guys were people who were technicians for 20 years and never upgraded to general because of the code. Because they didn't want to learn the code. Instead, they got stuck learning how to make stuff work way better. And then finally, these people show up on HF here, and they really know what they're doing. I've seen a number of people like that. Somebody else, W2VW.
What?
Yeah, you can't patch something together and expect to make it work at any kind of competitiveness. I was competitive. I was in, I don't know if you ever heard of the Pack Rats, Northeast VHF Society. So I got wrapped up in that club for a while, and man, them guys knew what they were doing, and they taught me a lot, and I put the station together. And, I was on a suburban house, duplex, small lot, but boy, I was a competitive station. I got certificates on the wall. If you're into wallpaper, but I was at that time because it was pretty cool. But now I have them because it is pretty cool. I won my region on 6 meters a couple times, 222 a couple times, and 903 a couple times for single op low power.
That's impressive because you don't do that out of a box.
No, But I moved from a reasonably good VHF location, and now I live in what I call the volcano crater. The highest point on my property is 470 feet, and the lowest point is 350. But I'm surrounded by 500 plus foot hills, maybe 550, even 600 foot, surrounded by them. So I had to change directions. AA3RE.
And here you are on 3871.
Hanging out with the very weak man.
It's pretty cool, actually. It was nice running into Dave again there after all those years. I never really talked to him any other time except for backscatter on 10 meters, and I always thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that band, and hopefully it gets at least as good as it was. And if it gets as good as it was, I'm happy. And for all the other people who can't get out with a wet noodle or crying the blues, you know what? It's like a natural filter for lazy people.
Well, if I can make it to North Carolina from Pennsylvania on 900 megahertz, yeah, the rest of it is cakewalk from there. That was one of my proudest contacts. And that was 50 watts of power.
Wow, that is impressive.
Of course, it was one of them good ducks, I had stacked 33 element Yagis and 50 watts.
That's right, Dave.
How long did you, what'd you do, have a sked? I would imagine.
No, I actually caught, it was during one of the contests. It was a good tropo opening during one of the contests. So, the modus operandi is you catch a guy on a band, and then you work them up as high as you can on as many bands as you can. You typically catch people on 2 meters. I caught this guy on 2. I said, you got any higher bands? He says, yeah. So you got 220, yeah. So your beams are already pointed, So 220 works, 432, that worked. All right, let's tweak our beams, make sure we got it, because now our beam widths are getting more narrow. Yep, good to go. 432, 903. Yeah, I got 903. Let's give it a try. Son of a bitch, we made it on 903. And he was actually stronger on 903 than 432. I couldn't believe it. It was like it was such an opening. It was like an S9 or a 10 dB over S9 signal. It blew me out of my chair.
Yeah, you probably thought the guy was putting you on for a bit.
Well, you got the call sign, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but, people always wonder. Yeah, I wish 220 were more popular. I'm sitting on, I've got 55 Larcan kilowatt and a half amp modules that work on that band here.
I run a 220 repeater, and I run 220 FM here, but I don't have any more sideband equipment. There's too much reflection here, and the repeater is not here. But yeah, there's just too much multipath here for anything above 2 meters. Although this summer, I caught a tropo opening this summer on 2 meter sideband, and was able to work North Carolina, and I was pretty pleased about that. I'm like, oh wow. So I still do 2 meter sideband, 6 meter sideband, but nothing higher.
You do any dig it all stuff on the higher bands?
No, I never really got into that digital stuff. I think if I can't do it, CW I'll do on those bands. But that's the real digital. But any other, I fooled around with it and it just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't trip my trigger.
Yeah, I can understand that. Well, that's people are on 6 are saying that everybody and their brother is on FT8 and they can't find SSB and an occasional CW. And I think the beacons are going to disappear next.
I've noticed that recently too. All this past summer I've been checking out 6 meters and dead as a doornail. You go up to, 5270 or 170, something like that, and there's all that FTE, all that noise. Like, well, there's plenty of stations on, the conditions are there, the band is open, but everybody's doing that, nobody's talking.
Well, sooner or later things will check out. It'll shake out. It's getting so busy. Everybody is using that mode, and when the bands start opening up, 10 meters is going to turn into a complete, total, unusable zoo.
And I'll be at 29 megahertz or somewhere close by to that. I really don't like sideband anymore, for the most part. I'd rather talk AM, and that's where I'll be. And get away from all that. Because sidebanders, man, when the band is really open, they all just snuggle up right on top of each other, and they just womp, womp, womp to death. And I don't care how many filters you got. They get right that close. KCUA and all this nonsense. I'm like, seriously. So I just got fed up with all that. And I prefer the AM. The guys on AM just seem like, I don't know, a better crowd. Whatever. Anyway, I like it better. AA3RE, that's me.
Love you too, very weak. Billy's got latency in his receiver.
Yeah.
And it makes it hard for Billy to do the quick break back and forth stuff. Gotta fix that somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a faster computer could help. It's the only thing I can really think of.
I actually need a computer right now. My computer is so old and so slow that to do any of that stuff anymore, I'd have to buy a computer, and it's just not my thing, really. But I'm using the B&W transmitter, but I'm using my Yaesu FTDX 1200 receiver, and at this point, I don't even want to use another receiver. I like this, hybrid combo. That's where it's good.
Well, I'm gonna try I'm going to take the CPU from this computer I'm streaming with right now and buy like an older motherboard and put it in that and swap out a couple parts for newer stuff in the streaming PC, and then, with the stuff I already have plus a motherboard, kind of put together a SDR computer that can, handle some stuff. That might just do it.
I think that's great what you're doing. It really sounds good, and I applaud these guys with all that cutting edge kind of technology stuff that they're doing. But I'm analog retentive at this point. I mean, I do enough computer in my life that I don't want computer in my life more than I need computer in my life. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Well, I don't have to deal with computers at work, so it's all fun for me.
Yeah, I like the retro. I like going the other way. My grandfather was a ham, and I remember, man, his racks and racks of stuff, and glowing glass, and lights, and dials, and shiny knobs, and I wanted to have something that Grandpa would recognize, and I'm just not into the computer thing. They just seem like more of a expensive pain in the ass to me, to be honest.
Well, I only like the computer stuff for the receiver, because you can do so much in the digital realm to hear stuff that you otherwise wouldn't be able to hear, something without as much control. But I'm into tubes and old stuff, running a Viking 2 right now with an amplifier. And, it's all old stuff, tube stuff, using a Model 122 VFO. It's like designer made in the 40s. And, everything except the receiver is very old school around here. W2BTK.
Oh, that's way cool. And I applaud what you're doing, and I like what it's doing. Let's try and put this another way. If I had unlimited funds to throw at radio equipment, I would be there. But I really, I got too many hobbies, and I only got so much money to spread around, so I gotta pick and choose. And a computer with my radio is not on my high priority list. But the Yaesu paired with the B&W sort of meets that, same sort of, the older receivers, some of them are pretty good and some of them are not so good. But let's face it, the Yaesu does a pretty good job of dealing with things and making my life a little bit better on the receiver side.
Yeah, and then, you can, you'd need a computer for that. Never mind.
Well, I have one, but I'm not that savvy with the things. Somebody could probably clean it up, but it is pretty old now. It's getting dated, and I just really have no interest in fooling with it. And the only way to solve the problem would be to buy a brandy new, updated one that does what I want it to do, rather than fool around with that thing anyway. It'd be easier, but I don't have the money to throw at it at this particular point in time. And before that happens, I'd rather have an amplifier, because I don't even have an amplifier at this particular point in time, because that one died some time ago, and I sold the carcass off and decided I was going to buy a new one, but that hasn't come yet. AA3RE. So this is all the power that I have at this station.
Give him some power, Dave.
All right, here's 100 watts.
It works.
Yep, there's 100 watts somewhere in the system.
He just emailed you 100 watts, Pete. All you gotta do is accept it, and it'll be in your carrier.
Well, this B&W does 120 watts, 130 watts a carrier. That seems to be pretty respectable. But I have a sneaking suspicion my antenna's doing all the heavy lifting here.
Oh, you're 101.
And again, after approaching the weak signal world, VHF, UHF, I always approach things from an antenna standpoint. You know, a little antenna works better. A little radio works better on a big antenna than a big radio works on a little antenna.
What?
Antennas are very important.
Extremely important. One thing my grandfather drilled into my head: worry about your antenna first. And then my VHF Elmer: antennas are important. Feed line is important. Oh, really? I took a whole different approach on things.
Learn the code. Back in my day.
Yeah, he didn't push code.
We used to share sneakers.
Walked uphill to school, in the snow, both ways, uphill.
Hey, there's a no code now. Get him.
He did make me draw schematics, though. Grandpa did. Gotta learn schematics. Like, I don't even know what I'm looking at.
Did he make you figure out resonance?
He was all into Ohm's law, and 468 divided by the frequency in megahertz is burned into my brain from 9 years old.
Yeah, I think the big thing that where people drop off is AC theory. There's a lot of guys out there that know what works, but they don't know why it works because they never learned that.
AC theory is tough. In the apprenticeship program, you know, that I went through, you start out with DC theory first year, and you don't get to AC theory till like third year.
Yeah, and really, your line of work, it's important because people tend to think, well, why are we jumping through all these hoops? Who cares about power factor? The pipe is yay large, blah, blah, blah. But then they make them realize, if they understand why, you know, you need power factor correction, and why metering works the way it does, and why you need larger copper sizes even though you're not delivering, you know, the difference between a VA and a watt, that's important.
Yeah, a lot of people don't think of power in terms like that. It's like, oh, it's, you know, 20 amp circuit, 12 gauge, there you go, like 1,000 feet away. No, not really. I don't know. I try to explain it as something everybody knows and can grasp, which is a glass of beer, and 80% of that is beer you can drink, and 20% is foam. And that's the best analogy for watts and VA.
Yeah, but that's a good analogy, but the problem is, how do you solve it? And you can't use a way to solve your foam problem. I like an analogy where you have a bus and it will only fit so many people on it. And you get a bunch of extra people on your bus that really aren't going anywhere. They just got a bus ticket and they keep riding every bus. That's reactive power. You either have extra 20 people on your bus that load the bus down, make it work harder, and get in the way, or you have 20 less people, you don't have enough people on the bus. And there's ways to counteract that.
It reminds me of when I was a first year apprentice and we walked in the electric room and the transformer was humming real loud, and the guy's like, hey, you know why the transformer hums? And I forget what I said, but I kind of like went into why, and he just looked at me and called me an a-hole.
Because it doesn't know the words.
Exactly.
I was figuring you said that.
No, that's what I should have said.
Afternoon, evening.
It's Kenny E. Coyote.
Yes, it is. What's happening?
How you doing, Kenny?
I'm all right. Just figured I'd fire this thing up on a rainy day.
You think you got enough there that you can change the weather?
Absolutely not. I have to find some.
You need a Russian over-the-horizon radar system next to your nuclear plant at Duga.
That's funny. That came in over the link the other day into Mikey's repeater, and he was asking me what it was, and I told him what it was, and he said, "What? What? What? Russian what?"
I was over there, as you know, and I'm like, "Where's your wire antenna?"
Yeah, it wasn't resident.
I had to buy new wire. I couldn't use used wire.
He was using that. Well, actually, he made me use it to put it up. The weed whacker, green stuff, you know. It's like nylon or plastic or something.
Dinner bell. Thanks for the fun, fellas. I'll catch you next time I can. 730-AA3RE.
Take care, Peter.
See you, Pete.
He said, in case I didn't say that.
They all wind up on 75 meter AM after a while.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny. Last night he called me. He texted me about 15 times. I was on the Halloween net on 3885, and I'm getting into the controller for the 2 meter, which was in turn getting into the. I thought that was a tree arcing. Getting into the 440 link to his repeater. And it kept keying up. He could hear half the conversation. It was driving him nuts. He was like, "Oh, you're killing me over here."
Listen, man, you ought to put up some interesting activity on there. You know, you put both sides up and just forget what people are doing on the repeater.
Oh, I got the 440 link radio. I could do that easily enough, but I took it down, you know. Well, I didn't take it down. I just turned it off. It's in the other room. That's all.
The radio to match the...
440. I got it set up.
And you know where the dip is.
And your attractiveness to equipment that's being wrung out, you're getting the performance out of it and making things work. And there's a satisfaction in that. But other than that, I think about repeaters like I think about transistors. I use them for leveling furniture.
I kind of use it the same way you use that little radio that you transmit around the house. That's what I use it for. Same thing. I listen. Yeah, which is nice because you can change the frequency you're on remotely. I want to listen to 40 meters. You just push a couple of buttons and you're listening to 40. That's mostly what I use it for.
Yeah, I like it when people can drive by here and tune in what I can hear on their either AM or FM car radio, in case there's any doubts.
Yeah, you've had that thing for years. This thing is not tuned up. But, oh, wow, yeah, it's not. Anyway, it's okay.
Hey, Ken.
What's up, Willie? A rainy day.
Not much. Figured I'd use my radio sometime, for a little while at least. Been kind of neglecting it.
Oh, I have to. I haven't had time. A lot of other stuff. Building a Grand National for my son. Working. This, that, and the other thing. Just have not had time to get on. Kerry's busy too. Everybody's busy. Nobody's got any time. But soon, I've been getting everything back in line here and start getting back on again.
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff I got to do. I want to get on with this other exciter, but I got to fix this Kenwood radio. I got some parts I need. I got all this stuff going on at work right now, and it's kind of like kind of consuming my mind.
Well, there's always something to do. That's the problem. For me, I got 3 boys, so I got 3 times more to do. And a wife, so plenty of stuff to do. But yeah, I'm using that Ord band right now. So I got to order all the parts for the Behringer. So I'm getting them. Well, they're shipping them in anyway. I got to rebuild the power supply section on it. And hopefully it didn't lose its memory. I'm hoping it didn't lose the memory because I didn't take the battery out. I'll rebuild the power section put it back in line. Hopefully when I fire it up, all my settings are still in there. Yeah, I hope.
You know why those capacitors go bad?
No, actually I don't. They really, honestly, to tell you the truth, they are really small, and I think they should be a little more heavily rated.
It was industrial sabotage. There was a capacitor formula that was stolen, and people that developed the formula purposely screwed it up because they thought somebody was going to try to steal it. So you're using stolen formula capacitors.
Well, I'm not using them anymore. They launched a couple of, that was a while back. I lost it. So I've been using this Orban, and it's not set up correctly, but it works. It's, it's working. So I have to I'll just rebuild it. Everything new, the whole power section I'm rebuilding, everything new in there. So I'll just get all new stuff, put it in. Hopefully when I fire it up, everything comes back. We'll see.
You gotta get yourself
Back in and have fun.
Well, it's the EQ section. I had it like really finally got it, because Carrie doesn't like using it if it's not right, so, which I don't blame her. And it was set up right. And I'm hoping it's still there. I'll figure it out. If I have to, I'll figure it out, but get it as close as I can. I remember a lot of it from setting it up the first time, but there's a lot of stuff in there, as you know.
W2 very weak.
W2BTK. You gotta get an 18650 battery for that thing, a battery holder, Ken. I'm telling you, I used one in mine. It hasn't lost its memory in years, and it doesn't get powered up that much.
Yeah, I was thinking of changing the battery holder out on it. It's got that, that little button battery in it, and those things, they last for a while. I mean, in computers, they last for years, so I can't see these things wouldn't last for at least 5-10 years, But I had put a new battery in it before I had any problems because it was prompting me to do that. So new battery went in, so I'm hoping the new battery will hold memory for a while, so when I fire it up, it'll still be there. That's what I'm hoping for. If not, then whatever, I got to start from scratch.
Well, Billy's showing his battery on his Twitch stream.
Yeah, that's what you need.
The other thing you need is a UPS.
Got the flex on there. Cool. I'll have to check it out.
You could make a UPS with these things. I mean, this is the technology right now. This is it. This is what they use for everything. The Tesla car batteries, battery banks, like anything big like that. It's just tons of these 18650s in series parallel, to get whatever voltage you want, however many parallel to get the storage you want. But that's what they do. Hundreds of them, couple of them, or one of them in your 9024 works great.
So Tesla uses those batteries?
Yeah, if you look at the guts of one, it's like literally hundreds of those things. What I just showed on camera.
Yeah, you can buy the holders for them, or you can order them, depending how many batteries you want to put together. They snap together. You snap the batteries in. You get them online.
Yep, people make like homemade Tesla power cells for their houses and stuff out of them, and yeah, they're easy. But I think I might even have one or two. I don't know. I used ones that were dead, like they wouldn't take a charge very well, and they were like end of life. And I just used two of those, like dead ones, and I think a 18650 battery holder in my 9024, and that's enough to just keep it forever probably.
Well, the 9024, your biggest enemy is...
When you take it out, it says 8024, 9024. That's pretty funny.
Your biggest enemy with the 8024 and the 9024 is if your power blinks on and off. I don't care if you have a good backup battery or not. If your power flickers, which happens, it'll wipe some of the memory, and it always does the same stupid thing. I don't know if you've ever noticed that oral exciter thing. that distortion generation crap that they use on FM radio stations, those old deaf guys programming them. That sucker turns itself on.
Yeah, the guitar distortion stuff.
Man, that's not guitar distortion.
It's really sound
It's-
raspy, and you check it, and it's the gun is on, and you
It's
turn it off again.
CIS, CRUD in software.
You ever turn on there's the exciter thing. I think there's like tube emulator. You could like make yourself sound like you're running through a 12AX7.
Yeah, I think one of those is defaulted, and you can't turn them all off because mine says 12AX7. So here you go. I have the black plate 12AX7 Telefunkins.
Mine says the same thing, 12AX7, same thing.
Mine's powered off in a rack somewhere. I'm using the fancy one with the GUI that I can interface with my computer.
Your processor costs more than my whole station.
Yeah, but I've never bought a rice box before. That's my justification. It's rice box priced.
Yeah, it's none of my business.
It's sick though. I love this thing, even though it's stupid. Like, it's so smart, it's stupid. It's really not like amateur radio stuff. But the fact that I can just plug it into my network and go into it from my computer and make changes and save like hundreds of different profiles and access them from the front, and you know, it's sweet. So much control. There's a lot more control on this thing than there is on the 9024. You can really tweak the crap out of stuff.
Yeah, that's nice.
No more stuff.
And of course, then there's that many ways to go wrong if you don't know what you're doing. So the problem you have is you know what you're doing.
I got this thing, if I try any of the presets or any other stuff, I'm hitting the audio pretty hard right now, but it doesn't sound as good.
Yeah, well, you've got it figured out. So, Kenny, you've got no compression at all, right?
No, I got nothing, man. I'm just running it. You know, I'm running the audio down. I don't have it very loud, so, you know, nothing. Zero.
Yeah, he needs a backup.
Oh, I got the Orban, but that doesn't have compression in it, so.
Yeah, that's what I mean. All that is an equalizer. You need a backup compressor.
Yeah, more stuff. Forget it. Just fix that and put it back in line.
Yeah, but if you have a backup, it won't break again. Come on, you know this.
Yeah, it's probably correct. I got something laying around here. It's probably something you gave me years ago, probably in a garage if I looked hard enough.
If you want a cool project, build yourself an SSL G-Series bus compressor clone off the SSL G-Series consoles. There's like kits or schematics all over the internet, and it's like one of the most popular ones. It's like, it's pretty awesome sounding compressor. Like, there's stuff just floating around. You build one of those, man. Whew.
Yeah, my soldering gun broke.
Parts keep getting smaller every year.
I bought a nice, nice flow station. You know, I bought all kinds of stuff, and the thing lasted for 6 months and blew up. So I gave up. You know, I was doing some SMT stuff, but that crap ain't getting any easier to do.
I like the tweezers for that, the hot tweezers.
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff with the kit, and I started using it, and then it broke. So I'm back to my old Weller soldering iron, little one. But I liked it because the other one was variable. You know, you could vary whatever you needed. This, you got I got a 15 watt. I need a 30 watt. You take that out, you plug the other one in. It's like, really?
I have one of the Weller temperature control solder stations that I got from a ham auction, like real cheap, and it works sometimes. So it's really more aggravation than it's worth. I think it needs a new it needs a new, soldering pencil. But sometimes I can get it to work, and that thing kicks ass. Like, if you were gonna buy something, that stuff's cool.
That's what I had when I was on a roller.
It was a Japanese brand or Chinese, whatever it was. It worked well. It really did. You know, had the heat gun with the different size tips for flowing solder, you know, flowing the SMTs on and stuff like that, but it broke.
Yeah, I've had a Radio Shack solder station forever, and the the solder pencils last, I don't know, 3-4 years before they crap out or melt or the threads break, just plastic threads. And I can't find them anymore, so that thing's like obsolete. I had to get an Amazon special, some little $30 solder station, but it works. It's just fine. I don't do quite as much soldering with the little pencil these days. Mostly I got my 300 watt Weller gun, and that's my main go-to soldering thing. But every once in a while I need the little pencil for the annoying stuff. W2BTK.
QC2UDZ, yeah, 300 watt to float a solder on them 2879s.
Kim. Or the MRF, whatever the F.
What?
Yeah, what? The little LD Moss amp that I have in there, that thing kind of kicks butt. I forget it's a something 300 LD Moss. It's like, I think they're like 250, 300 watts a piece. That thing works really well.
Nice and clean, right? Exactly.
By the time it gets through Big Blue, it's clean.
Don't work like that.
It doesn't work like that, that's right.
Clean enough.
Big Blue doesn't make it worse. It's already worse.
Yeah, but I guess you could make filters. That's one band at a time as I go on them.
It won't do anything for IMD, though. That's all harmonic stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, it just follows it right up the chain.
Can you change the conduction angle? Would that help?
Well, yeah, you can, and you can find a sweet spot for that. And the other thing, you were saying the other day about those amps are stable into any kind of a load, so they really don't care about the SWR. But one of the ways that they clean those things up is with inverse feedback. So there's a sample of the output that's turned around backwards and goes into the input along with the desired input signal, and it compares the error in the amplifier, if you will, and it reduces the gain. And you have to watch how much of that you do, because if there's phase shift within the circuit, you satisfy the conditions for an oscillator, which is why I say that all the stuff is spec to run into these high SWR loads. Well, yeah, but if you're using inverse feedback to clean the thing up, some of that protection might satisfy, some of that stuff might satisfy the conditions for an oscillator if you've got enough feedback in there to clean up the circuit, if you will. And there are people like Frank, WA1GF said, who could tell you firsthand what circuits to avoid. He's got a lot of rubber meets the road skill set with that kind of stuff. There's a guy to talk with. Problem with him is he can't find anybody to talk with that knows what they're doing. He's by himself.
Well, I've got that little L network I made, and just due to the fact that it's the kind of parts I had laying around, it could probably handle legal limit, so it could stick that between there and the input of the final, and be plenty fine business.
Did you find that other QRZ thread about the wafers on the TS830?
No, I didn't find that yet.
Yeah, you want to read that one too, in case what you're doing doesn't fix it. Uh-oh.
That'll be nice. It would be nice if that thing would do a little more, but I'm gonna have to run it at 5 watts or something and use the LDMOS.
Sound like your audio is changing there, Dave.
It probably is.
Yeah, sometimes it's bassy and sometimes it's shrill. Normal, I should say, not shrill. Weird.
Yeah, well, depends on how close I talk into the mic. I got a lot of proximity effect, and I don't want to sound like that. It's too much bass.
Yeah, as soon as you backed off it, it made a difference. It's changed. It's weird.
Let me see here. All right, this ought to fix it permanently.
That sounds like you now. I mean, yeah, sounds like you.
Yeah, well, that's who I want to sound like.
Yeah, it's good when you sound like yourself.
There were people that would probably not agree with that.
No, I like it pretty much. But it's hard to hit a number for me because, I get her on and then I get on and, so I usually set it up for her and then just deal with the rest.
I think that's probably a good approach.
Yeah, she's on it more than I am, most likely, so. I don't know where this rain came from, but man, it's definitely made the afternoon crappy.
Came from up here. It's not raining anymore.
Yeah, I got up this morning. We're working on the Grand National. I had the whole front off the Grand National here. We're working on that, doing a bunch of stuff, and we're going to do some paint work because I just put a humongous trans cooler on it. I was making brackets and stuff, and I had to paint things before we installed them. And I opened the door to the garage, and I was like, "Rain? Where the hell did this come from?" I was like, out of nowhere.
Nice, Grand National.
Yeah, it's the new project right now. I'm working on that. So the dash out of it, we just put an AEM system in it. We're putting a complete control system, new computer, blah, 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 blah. Tune on the fly, hook up the laptop, all the fancy stuff. That's what he wants, because that's what he is. The computer kid, Garrett. So I said, good, you take care of all that stuff. I don't want to know nothing about it. I'll put the stuff together for you. You tune the stuff. I don't want to know nothing.
Yeah, that stuff's cool. If you have, that's a turbo vehicle, so you have a lot of control over that stuff.
Oh yeah. Little thing's pretty fast the way it is. I'm quite surprised that little V6 got some pep. Pretty peppy little thing. So, but there's always upgrades for them. Turbos, whatever. You can upgrade everything. We're not going too far with this. We just want to make it run good and him be able to tune it. So that's what we're doing. Nice little car. I love it. It's very jealous. I love those 87 Grand Nationals. They were just cool cars.
Yeah, they had really good manners. They weren't noisy. They didn't smell bad. They didn't smoke. Anything that you would get out of a quote-unquote hot rod. But they had great performance.
Yeah, they did. Well, Kerry had that turbo car. That was a turbo Buick. It wasn't actually a Grand National. I hopped that one up for her. That was the first car she had when she started racing. A beginner's car. That ran 1430s, I think, with on boost. But it was a blow-through a quadrijet. But all the new ones now are, sequential fuel injection with the turbo on it. So it's made a big difference as far as horsepower is concerned. But they're very, very nice attitude. They're not, they're a nice attitude, nice driving car. You can drive it and actually enjoy driving it. It doesn't it doesn't come on at the wrong time, or the boost doesn't come on. Very, very nice. And he had it on. We had the air conditioning on. When it was nicer out, we were cruising around in it. I was like, man, this thing's cool. It's so comfortable,
Yep.
W2BTK.
Car,
So we
too.
ended up with. So now he's got a hot rod. I guess if you want to call it that. But anyway, cool car. People will go, like, just flock around it when you pull in a parking lot and stuff. Is that a Grand National? Yes, it is, sir.
Well, when you scramble the 204R, make sure you keep the converter and input, the pump and all that stuff, because that's specific to that car.
I actually have a spare trans outside out of a Turbo T car, 86, which is the same one, 200R. It's got a brand new trans in it. There's a brand new trans, brand new racing converter in it. Not a racing converter, it's a little more than the normal converter. It's all brand new. I just and the engine's new. It's basically a stock rebuilt. In other words, it was rebuilt, factory rebuilt. So it's just a basic, like a brand new Grand National.
Yeah, that same transmission in a Cadillac was a piece of garbage.
Yeah, we got a big weight difference here, But the only thing I don't like about it is the lockup. Well, the lockup's okay, but it's the overdrive that's a little funky in it. Because it comes in at 45 miles an hour. No matter what you do, you can defeat that by putting a switch on it, which I'm going to do, because it is annoying if you're just like cruising around. If you're cruising around, we have a lot of speed limits are 45 around here. And some of them are 35, when it gets in that little transition there, if you go a little faster, it locks up, it comes out, it locks up. It's annoying.
Well, W2 very weak. I put one of those in a car that I had. It was a light car. And the lockup would come up sooner than I wanted it to. So what I did was I took a vacuum switch that they use for lockup out of an 80s Chevy Blazer, so it goes right to manifold vacuum. And then I teed it to a vacuum canister, and it had a little valve on it, and I put a one-way in there, and the way it worked was the canister's pressure it took time for the canister's pressure to drop enough, and it was like a pretty effective and adjustable time delay for the lockup to come on. That worked out really well. And then I used the brake pedal, the brake lights, 12 volts, to reset everything and unlock the torque converter. Otherwise, it was like driving a stick. It would be like as you're slowing down.
Yeah, it is a problem. That's pretty cool. Was that in your Firebird?
Yeah. I don't think you ever saw that thing. I got rid of that thing years ago. But yeah, I had a 507 punched out Cadillac engine in there.
Nope, never saw it. I remember the car though. You told me about it.
And that thing was stupid. I never did go over the chassis or any of that, so it still had the original rear axle, and I had to make that connector, the drive shaft thing that goes back. I had to redo all that stuff to make that trans fit in there. I got it to work though.
Yeah, Cadillac engine in a Pontiac. Why not? KC2UDZ.
Yeah, you would have loved that thing. I think even Mike would have loved that.
Mike doesn't like anything except if it's brand new.
Yeah, I would have just told him everything was new.
He doesn't care. What'd you buy that for? It's junk. You should have got a new one.
Oh man.
I love him to death, but I drive him crazy on purpose because he's like that.
Mikey?
It's not that Mikey. There's another Mikey around here. I don't even know if this Mikey knows that Mikey.
He's a pisser, he is. He's a great guy, he really is. Do anything for you. He's one of them kind of persons.
Yeah, well, saved my ass.
Yeah, I mean, the mechanical part was no problem. It was just the programming that was the issue.
Yeah, the other part was recently had my right hand operated on it. I'm not ready for that kind of crap yet.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, but anyway, you didn't want to. Yeah, what are you gonna do? You gonna do the driveway? You're getting too old for that crap.
Nah, that would have had to happen in the garage. It's okay. It's all good. It's fixed. It's back together. She's already on her way to breaking it again. Right, honey?
Really, Dave?
Smolder them tires. Yeah, baby.
Count to 3 when you put it in reverse.
Carrie's Lincoln's still alive. It's still running. These things are hard to kill, them things. I love those cars.
Yeah, the old P71 chassis.
I love them. I mean, it's the same as the Grand Marquis, I guess, or whatever. Cop car. It's a little more flamboyant, Cool car. That's all she likes to drive anymore. So that's what I bought. I got an extra one out here. I bought another one. It's sitting out here. Same color, everything. Interior, exterior, everything. Same damn car. I bought 2 of them. So when that one breaks, I got another one.
Yeah, Billy's got one of those cop cars, too.
Yeah, mine's an '08.
House?
What?
I was asking Dave if it was the one who used to park in front of his house.
In front of my house?
Yeah, the black and white.
No, that was Dave Jr.'s car. No, Billy has one that he bought himself, probably before I even met him. I don't know.
Oh, no, I'd known you for a while. I've had like 4 of those things. The one I have now, it's a '08. Good year for those. I think that was the first year where, I don't know, it had good parts that year.
4.6, right?
Yeah, 4.6, and then there's a bunch of different like configurations. The gear ratio in the rear, I like. I think that's a 355 in that one. So it's got good pickup, but it tops out 120 instead of 140.
Yeah, well, they limit them, but the fastest one I've had yet, man, that thing was an animal. Was a 93. Dual exhaust. That thing would roast the tires in 2 gears and then chirp them in 3rd. That thing was an animal.
The Chevys were always the ones, the Caprice, they put the vet motor in those.
Yeah, well, they were running the LT motors in those, so they had some good horsepower. But I was real surprised for a 4.6 running that well in 93. It was like, wow. I was like, we used to have a blast with that car.
It probably didn't last very long.
Well, somebody dropped, one of the kids, not our kid, but another kid, dropped a dime in the back lighter and burned up the harness in the dash. And then it started doing all kinds of fluky stuff, so I got rid of it, but it still ran.
Yeah, wow. That's amazing. Yeah, we'll end up giving the one away to a family member that we had, that black and white.
Yeah, I remember when Dave had that. It was a pretty cool car. You guys fixed it up, and he drove that for a while.
Yep. And he went and bought himself a Mercedes, and that was the end of that.
I don't know. They're too damn expensive to fix.
Dang, look at that uptick, Dave.
Yeah, the band is changing around. Billy got like really super strong here from. He went down for a while for like half hour, and now it's back up. It's silly.
Yeah, I'm only running 6 amps. Like 7 amps. So I'm not even going to change it because I got a little rain on the antenna here, which is leave it alone. Well, you can hear me, so that's good.
On here too. Let me see. All right, there we go. I can't tell though if this. Let me turn the audio down a little. There might be some gain compression going on here. I think this is a little much.
You sound fine. You're 25, 30 over, 25, 30 over SI, so right about in that ballpark there.
That had a ton of average level when you keyed up last time. I think my audio is a little bit. It's not really showing up on the video as well. It's not doing it justice. I have to fool with these cameras, but it's right there. I've set it up. I've got over, around 95 just under 100% negative modulation. So that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, your video compression algorithm is making it weird. Yeah. Anyway, if I need to work some DX, this is available. Otherwise, it's just plain stupid.
Yeah, I gotta go make a sandwich. I'm hungry. I didn't eat all day. I was out in the garage, so I'm gonna go grab something to eat.
Roger, happy sandwich.
Yes. Food, feed me. Now, I guess something's there. Oh, maybe she's cooking something. I gotta go check the kitchen. Think there's food. I might go back. We'll see you later.
All right, see you later, Kenny. Nice talking to you.
Yeah, see you later, Kenny. Enjoy your sandwich.
We'll say one thing, though, the grid current, let me see. I gotta go back to my notes, but I think the grid current on this thing is a lot less than it had been. I've got about 5 mils of average, and maybe 12 or 15 mils on the peaks.
Not bad. Well, you're seeing something.
Yeah, that's better than it was. I can get it to go up to 100 if I raise the drive up and just sit on a carrier. And the amount of output power is not commensurate with what I would like to see, so I know there's a way to go.
Gotcha. So you just run it.
Well, it might do so. I've seen that with the really large industrial tubes. I don't think it does it a little bit. I'm wondering if the thing was operated with too much heater voltage and it contaminated the control grid a little bit, because that's a problem.
Poor thing.
Yeah, this is one that barked at me. This one had an arc over somewhere, and it cured it. It arced, and then it just went along its way.
Well, I mean, geez, it's working, but I'm not looking at it the same way.
Yeah, well, I'll see if I can't get it to come back to normal life. The other one I have is is very, very nice. So I've got that still.
Got a little bit of popcorn over here.
Getting some precip noise.
Yeah, something like that. It's gotta be due to the moisture.
I'll tell you what, I get that coming off the ocean under certain conditions. It sometimes it squeals. You know, it's like a Corona. It's like really high pitched. I can't even make that sound.
Yeah, this isn't that bad. I threw an attenuator in, and where I have my AGC set, it knocked it like way down.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I'm looking online here. What's that number? Can't see. I'm not using the video card that I need to be. All right. Looks like you dumped maybe 10 dB.
Yeah, so it's well, it says minus 120, but who knows what the hell that number is.
Yeah, what's the attenuation that you put in the line?
10 dB.
Yeah, I was looking at your peak and my peak signals to see if it corresponded to the, and it looked like it lost, mine looks like it lost 10.
Yeah, well, I was flipping it in and out a little bit there. Let's see. Hello, or I'll just hold a carrier. AGC's got it. The AGC's got me.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect that to work. It'll work on my signal just right, though, because I saw it already do that. But yeah, you forget it. You know, the attenuator's not even going to work right. No way. Oh, look, I'm losing 10 dB. Something wrong with my antenna. Crap.
Yeah, when I want to get offline, I'll just start slowly throwing in attenuators. Up, band went long, gotta go.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's a good trick. No, this is nice and comfortable. You got a strong signal, so I can throw some attenuators in, and you're not in the AGC too much.
Yeah, well, it's within the loop portion of the AGC loop that it reads properly. You are flattening it, obviously. You've got leakage coming in from different places, and the attenuator in your 50 ohm port isn't going to be what it's supposed to be, because nothing is terminated properly, and the only source of energy, you're coming in through your every which wire.
Well, I actually changed that around, and my receiver switches itself into a dummy load on transmit. So that helped. That knocked it down a lot. Like, I used to have way more signal in my own receiver, but now I have like a similar signal to like the other people that are on the air. It's actually like kind of perfect.
Yeah, I saw that. You're not whacking it real super hard, but you may be suffering worse artifacts and weirdness from other sources of RF ingress. I mean, this is no way you're going to keep all the RF out of that box.
Yeah. You know that. It was spazzing out that one night. And I was doing testing and I offended some people, but I got lots of ferrites and, you know, terminations and this and that. It's about as good as it can get, I think. I don't know. USB is kind of like not the best for that. It's all kinds of different qualities and stuff, but the shielding on this stuff seems okay, as long as there's not too much RF riding on it.
You know, you performed a valuable service. You gave somebody who was a weenie something to complain about.
Yeah.
And they need that.
It's, you know, everybody's got their slice of the hobby.
Some people are contesters, some guys moon bounce, some people are weenies.
Yeah, little weenies.
You gave him an RF wedgie.
Every time I'm on. I gotta get my other rig going, man. The troublemaker rig.
Yeah. Well, you got some mechanical fun ahead. You're probably not going to feel like doing that, but that's what it needs.
Yeah. I'll get it. I'll get it, man. I will. I got the shaft coupler. I just need to read that article, get it all aligned. Like, I can sit there and just hopefully, like, when I get the right combination of everything, it will just like have a little bit of plate current. I don't know how else I'm gonna know.
Well, it's got idling current, I think, and that's it, right?
I couldn't get it to register anything, man. But it's got high voltage, but I couldn't get anything as far as current.
Are you sure you kept the screen switch on?
No.
Yeah, there's a switch on there that you can shut the screen off. Just double check and make sure that it's not shut off, because they get shut off.
Yeah, Roger.
I mean, I remember the thing made maybe 400 milliwatts peak, and that was all it was going to make, and the tuning didn't change it.
Well, since then, I poked around in there a little. Like, did you have it doing a couple hundred milliwatts last time you had it, or was this from like a while ago?
No, this is from when I first brought it up there. It's, you know, very first brought it up there a long time ago. All I did with it now is I looked at it and I said, look, this is busted.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that'll fix it. It's got a new driver tube. It's got, you know, the tank circuit upgrades, you know, the whatever that kit you bought, that's in there. I poked around like in the driver section, and like hopefully I didn't hurt anything in the little ICs and all that crap.
Yep, W2 very weak. You're on Beechwood Mountain. Well, still got that one chassis left. Another one of those, another copy of those. So if you can't get it to play, we still have that other one.
Yeah, that's true. And then there's always eBay. I'm sure. I do like the fact that it's got tube finals though. And you know, the setup in there. That's nice.
Yeah, if you could find yourself a TLC like a PAL 350, that would be good. Oh, we got the delivery. Yeah, baby. They're bringing back all the candy.
Oh, what'd you get?
I don't know. It's a baby.
They delivering a baby?
Yeah, it's wrapped up.
Is that really how that works?
Well, it all depends. You know, some people, yeah, that could work.
What a nasty day outside.
Yeah, it's not blowing like it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be windy. I guess it's going to wait till tomorrow.
I gotta do something about these leaves. I think I'm just gonna mow them.
What do you do with? Do you have a grass catcher thing?
No, I'll mow them out into a pile and then I'll just keep mowing them till they're real small.
Sounds like you need professional help.
Yeah, well, what I need to do is take down this fence, I think, but I don't know. I think a lot more crap would blow into my yard, but I'd be able to like mow around. Like, the fence is the big problem. That's where the leaves all blow and collect, and then it's hard to get the weeds to not grow there.
Yeah, you got to find somebody that'll do your landscaping over there for you for a reasonable fee.
Probably a good idea. I was pulling my hair out this year trying to keep my trees healthy, man, with these lantern flies. They're infested. I started out with 2 trap trees. Now I got 4, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. And it's ridiculous. Some of the trees you couldn't even see the bark. There's so many of these things, and they're dropping like flies, but there's so many of them.
Yeah, that's not cool. Well, I'm sure you get plenty of advice up there from people who know what to do and all.
Not really. They're all just like, oh yeah, those things. Like, yeah, they're like not too worried about it. But I guess this has just been this year really where they've been bad. So next year or maybe the year after that, when all these trees are gone, they'll wise up. But I knew from my parents who went through this a couple of years ago in Pennsylvania, and they were the ones who told me about the injectables for the tree. And it's not just pesticides they make like fertilizers and stuff. They're injectable treatments that go into the root flange of the tree. They're really effective.
Wow. But I would imagine if they've done enough damage, then it's not going to reverse itself. Well, that stinks. You need to fly in like Rockefeller Center, a giant pine tree.
Yeah, that would be cool. But as long as I'm knocking the population down, I don't think next year it could possibly be quite as bad. Just keep doing it, and the trees are healthy enough at this point. I might try some fertilizers next year, try to help them out, give them a little boost, but they just, there's enough of these bugs, they just drain all the sap from the tree, and it's just, it doesn't have any blood.
Yeah. Well, this big oak that I have in the front used to have oak gall. You know what that is?
No.
Yeah, you look it up, you'll see it. It's like these balls that grow in the middle of the smaller little branches of the trees, and they start doing all kinds of crazy crap. It's like a disease. And one of the best ways to make that go away is to make sure the thing gets more fertilizer. So I started doing that, and it took a few years, but most of the gall is gone. And we've had it trimmed more than once. I used to trim it years ago. And I've been playing with this tree for 26 years. And looks better than ever.
Yep. Fertilizers are good. I use the tree spikes, and those are pretty effective. If you do it every year, you start noticing a difference. But next year, I'm gonna try the injectable stuff. It's you drill you drill a little hole in like the root flange of the tree, pop it in there, and you kind of like compress it, and you just see it go like, swoop, and it starts like feeding right into the white, fleshy kind of wood there in the root, and it just sucks it right up, distributes throughout the whole tree.
I never heard of anything like that. It's neat.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, more of like if you hired like an arborist to come out and fertilize your stuff, that's probably the kind of stuff that they would bring.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, a friend of mine moved to a neighborhood with, it was a new house, but it had like a 200-year-old tree in front of it. This thing was really large, nothing like the trees around here, and it was diseased, and they hired a guy to come in, and he cut certain parts of it out and all that, and it died anyway. But it was interesting to watch what he did, and you know, it might have prolonged the thing's life. I don't know.
Yeah, it makes me sad when the trees aren't healthy, man, because trees are important, you know, for more than just antennas.
Oh yeah, yeah. You want a little shade. You want some. You want something to break the wind there, because you're up on that mountain. Yeah, I wouldn't want no trees. No way.
Man, my house stays nice and cool in the summertime because there's just good shade. I've got those Japanese, like, the dark maple, the trees with the maple trees with the dark leaves, and they soak up all the sun. They hang right over the roof, and it's nice.
And the only thing about maple trees is they have superficial roots, and if you have a lawn, the roots start poking through your lawn. But if you don't care about that, they're fast growing, give you some shade in a relatively short period of time.
Yep. And they grow. They do. Their roots, you can see a lot of them above the ground, but it doesn't bother me. Makes it easy to inject them with fertilizer and pesticides. And they're right over the septic seepage pit, so I guess they get fertilized.
Yes, they get extra nitrogen.
Yep. But man, both of them were swarmed this year with those freaking flies.
Yeah, when we see people go after nature, like I've seen people trying to get rid of varmints, and it's like you want to fix drugs, you can't fix it on the supply side. You got to fix it on the demand side. The war on drugs was a big failure. You got to make people not want to use them. Well, with varmints and pests, if you kill them, and you can't kill every last one of them, and you have some next door that you can't control, that the environment for them still exists largely after your pesticide goes away, and they'll come back even worse.
Yeah, but I mean, you're supposed to be killing these things. They tell you if you see them, extinguish them. So it's been thousands and thousands this year. So it's what else can you do?
I don't know. That sounds bad.
They literally say, like, if you see them, kill them. They're bad news.
Maybe you can kill them with RF.
Probably some of them, but I don't know. Just the trap trees work just fine. The first one I did, man, that was when they were real bad. My driveway was covered in those things after a couple days.
Oh man, you must have been like flipping out. Yeah, you need like a 30-foot dish, and giant magnetron. Just aim it at the tree and cook all the bugs.
Gotta do something. Dude, it got so bad, I couldn't park my car near the garage anymore. That tree had so many of those damn bugs in it, feeding on the sap and crapping on my car. Like, literally, there'd be a layer of sticky crap on my car within a couple hours of parking there. It was like you walk under that tree, it felt like it was raining, and it was just bug crap. And that has since, like, more or less stopped after, you know, these couple trap trees, because they're all dying off.
Man, that sounds like the end of the world. It's 2020, and it's confined to your area, though. But, man, that's all we need is pestilence on a large scale.
Yeah, it's disgusting, you know. They're kind of pretty bugs. They spread their wings. They got all the red markings and everything. But when you walk under that tree and it feels like it's raining, and you know that it's all just bug feces, that's bad. There's too many of those things.
And you can't even make craft beer with it.
No.
But if you could come up with a way to do that, man, you'd have something.
Honeydew beer.
Yeah, you know, honeydew beer fermented on the mountain fresh.
Bug Jenkum honeydew beer. And we'll, like, I don't know, who do we market to?
I don't know, man, but I don't even want it. You can have that for free, man. I don't want any profit for you. Can keep it all.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we could go like the kind of more hippie route, like non-GMO, organic, honeydew, cruelty-free, vegan, LGBRMQWZXYZ beer.
There aren't any hippies left. They were going to all grow up and contribute to society and change things. And now they're voting for the worst, most establishment ticket that there is. Thank you.
You know, I saw like an interesting study that this generation, what is this now? The kids Z, right? They're like one of the most conservative generations in a long time. Like, for the most part, I guess, like, it's just been getting more and more progressive, but like Gen Z's like, no, like, because somebody was saying that it's just because like conservatives have more kids on the average in the past, you know, little while here. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I wonder where they got that stat from, though. Interesting. Yeah, I told Tommy, you know, I said, your kid's going to be Michael J. Fox. You know, he's going to join the Young Republicans. Just, you wait.
Yep, probably. Like, screw you, Dad. I don't know. I definitely grew up in a conservative household, but I've heard both sides, you know, and I don't know, I just think it makes more sense.
Well, anyway, my candidate doesn't have a chance.
Oh, Kim Ye?
Nah, he didn't make it to the ballot, and even though I learned how to spell his name, I didn't want to write it in, so I voted for Joe Jorgensen. That way I can lie to people and say, oh yeah, I voted for Joe.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Like all the people in the polls right now, and in 2016. They don't want to tell you who they're voting. Oh yeah, I voted for Joe.
I think there's a lot of people who tell you straight up who they're voting for.
Only I never asked them.
Yeah, they'll just tell you.
Yes, and I don't want to know. I don't really want to know. Piece of peace left, and then all hell's going to break loose.
Something's gonna break loose.
Yeah, something's going to get broken off and shoved.
No matter what, there's gonna be a lot of unhappy people.
You know, you can guarantee that.
I hope that I don't have to wait too long to vote on Tuesday. I'm gonna go down there and vote on Tuesday in person, and I guess it's like write-in, so it's probably gonna take forever.
Yeah, you may have a line, so you might have to give yourself some time. But it's nice you can meet your townsfolk and strike up a conversation there.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know, I didn't want to have the USPS involved in my voting.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it either, but I don't want to be part of a line that's going to involve aged people who really need to be protected. So it's over. And there is a way to, now I don't hear about this on the quote-unquote news. There's a way to verify if your ballot was received.
Oh, really?
Yes, you can go online. And I first heard that from a friend of mine that lives in Manhattan who told me about it. And this guy is captive in his apartment because he's older and he's compromised immune system and all. I mean, he's afraid to even go out at all. And anyway, he voted. He received a non-solicited ballot because he usually votes. And he was able to go online and see that it was received.
Yeah, I wonder if that's like his county board of elections or whatever.
Well, it's the most screwed up place relatively compared to a year ago on Earth, Manhattan.
Oh, God.
Dave didn't vote. He just talking about it.
Mikey?
You didn't vote. Come on.
Mikey?
Come on. Oh, bring the truth out here.
Mikey's biscuit.
That's the truth.
NX3Z.
NX3ZW2 BTK.
W2 BTK. This is NX3Z. Good evening. And name is Jim. I'm located in Phoenix, Maryland. And just firing up a 32V3 here and with my PGXL amplifier and seeing if I got it wired right. Seems to be working right, but wonder if I've got the audio set right or if it's operating correctly. Again, the name is Jim, Japan, India, Mexico.
Yeah, hey, Jim. 32V3 sounds pretty good. Sounds like you got some kind of hand mic. I can hear you handling it a little bit. But that's actually kind of cool. So, good signal here, like high 50s in the SNR. So, very strong. Don't have an S meter reading for you, but the SNR was in the high 50s. You got Dave out there, W2VW. He's in South Jersey. I'm here in North Jersey, and name is Bill. So maybe Dave will give you a signal report there.
This isn't South Jersey.
Dave's in New Jersey.
It's not South Jersey.
Where you want to go? More south? You want to be on the end of Cape Bay?
Dave's in...
When you look at it, you tell me this is South Jersey. Hi, Jim. coming in fine here. Wonder what kind of mic that is. You may want to consider throwing it out the window, but other than that, it's great.
Oh, it's a D104 with it's probably making noise because I was holding it instead of just leaving it on the desk. So maybe it's a little better now. Okay, well, signal's getting out. I'm using a 160 meter loop, and looks like about maybe 180 watts a carrier. But in any event, nice to meet you both, Bill and Dave, and of the Jersey area, north and south, wherever. I have a sister who lives up in the Bedminster area. I traverse your state frequently. I have a place up in New Hampshire, so I head up there and go from top to bottom or bottom to top, depending on the day. So I'm not sure. I got confused. I think there's a third station in there, but I'm not sure. So let me turn it back to you, Dave, and then you can. I won't stick around here real long. I was just supposed to be cooking dinner in a few minutes here. W2VW, to take it, with W2BTK. I'm not sure the other station. This is NX3Z.
Yeah, it does sound like mechanically a D104. That's what I thought too. Like, are you using the preamp in that thing?
Negative. I did. Actually, what I'm using is I got the Heil element for. Actually, I can't remember what I put in this thing, but you know the transformer you get to give it a high Z, high impedance output. I can't remember if that came with an element.
Casting right from Maryland.
Might be the original element. No, it came with a different element because that would be low impedance, and we had to bring it up. So whatever that kit is that Heil sells for vintage radios, that's what it is. Over.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like a carbon mic on a telephone from the 60s. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's what it sounds like. The 32V can get a lot more human sounding with a different mic, and yeah, a real unmolested D104 cartridge, if you could find one, would probably work pretty well on that transmitter. But you know that, I'm sure. So it's working. Congratulations, it plays, and whatever you're doing there, I guess you're running an amp after it, maybe running the transmitter in the tune mode or something. It's working. It's got headroom. Mikey, you want to give Jim a report, Mikey? W2VW in central New Jersey. Jersey is in England.
Hello there, Mr. Jim. This is 100.2 MDX, and I'm live from South Jersey.
Knucklehead.
Yeah, I think it was Mike. I think it's N2MBX, and I didn't get the location. Your signal's not as strong as the other two, but copying you fine. Yeah, well, there's. I could do a lot of different things, I guess, with this radio. I had to, in order to key the PGXL properly, I have to key it. You have to key the amp and then send it back, the push-to-talk signal back to the radio, and key it extra to work right. And I was having some trouble with the amplifier was giving me SWR alarm, so I sent it back to Flex. I couldn't believe it. They got it back to me in like a week, and paid for all the shipping and everything, and changed something out, and it seems to be working fine. So I'm a happy camper. Okay.
It's known as net form
Here, and now that I got this thing working, I may be on more frequently. So we'll look forward to another conversation one of these days. Let me turn it back to Mike. See if I have the call right. N2MBX. This is NX3Z.
Very good. Yeah, I don't got my amp on. It's going to be coming online in a minute, but good hearing you, good talking to you. Yeah, Dave.
All right, Jim, yeah, I'll stop in any time. We usually just run fast break-in here, as you probably heard, and as opposed to the roundtable mode, which it can be fun, but not with more than a few people. We've all given up on that. So 7.3, and yeah, you got your basic everything playing very well there, and that's the hard part. So I look forward to talking with you again. W2 very weak.
Very weak, but great audio. Nice sound and signal down here. What are you using for a rig there?
This is an old FT1000D with a bunch of mods in it.
Sounds beautiful. Okay, guys. Thank you. NX3Z, I'll be clear.
And thanks for the report. Okay. Good night.
See you later, Jim. W2BTK.
Take care, Bill. Thank you. You've got a beautiful signal down here, too, and wonderful audio. What are you running?
I'm using a Johnson Viking 2 that I'm externally modulating with a solid state modern audio amplifier, and that's there's also an amplifier that's feeding into with the YC156 tube.
Sounds great. Very, very nice signal, both of you. And Mike, I'm sure if you were amped and a little closer, you'd sound just as good. But nice signal, guys. Thank you very much for letting me drop in. This is NX3Z Clear.
All right, Jim. And Dave, here, all I meant by the South New Jersey thing was like, okay, so if you drew a line in the very middle of the state, partitioning it to a northern and a southern partition, you would be in the southern partition. So there you go.
What you got to do is you got to run from north to south, from the extreme north to the extreme south, and draw a line, and then draw a line from the extreme east to the extreme west. And when the north and the south and the east and the west meet, is like not very far from right here. And yeah, if you go by population, this is definitely not northern New Jersey, but it's not. It's you got to drive here. And we have the most crossroads of any state, and we have lots of friendly people, and they use hand signals to say hello while you're driving to central New Jersey.
It's not central New Jersey, damn it.
And did they ask you what kind of Coke you want?
Central New Jersey, like, central New Jersey, Freehold.
Freehold's only 30 miles from here, Mike.
That's central New Jersey. We're more south, man. We're like, you know, Tom's River, you know, like a little Lake Harbor. Then you go into, you know, Wildwood, and then, you know, Lansing.
That's South Jersey. There's pine needles and stuff. Here we got everybody who used to live in Staten Island.
I had a Pine Barrens in here.
You got Pine Barrens at your house?
Yeah, right in my backyard. Take a poop in it. Hey, Billy, how's my signal?
Piss week.
Shut up, you moron.
Sounds like you're missing a little bandwidth too.
I am. Dave, give me some.
Here.
Okay. How's that?
Perfect. Thank you.
Where am I at? That's not bad.
Okay. That looks pretty good. That's a good waveform. I like that.
Hello?
Did you see, like, Charlie Brown's Christmas tree?
That's what mine looks like. I need to get this camera closer. It's all zoomed in from the other side of the room.
That was a double.
How are you doubling me if I'm in Beach? What the hell?
It's called thermionic emission.
Cool BS.
You may have heard of it. Thermionic emission.
The miracle of thermionic emission.
It is. It's a miracle. If you don't have thermionic emission, then I'm sorry.
I have it in my waistband. Thermionic.
Nuclear.
There.
Nuclear?
What are you, George Bush? President of the United States can't say the word nuclear.
How about data, BIOS. What?
Well, I'm not talking about the current president. I'm talking about George Bush couldn't say nuclear. And he's in charge of it.
Nuclear. Nuclear.
Yeah, Ossifer. Why'd you pull me over, Ossifer? I haven't been drinking.
I swear to drunk I'm not God, officer.
You forgot to say Ossifer.
I know. Right? Cash or cachet? GIF or GIF?
I love people who say binary instead of binary because they don't want it to sound like a sexual preference.
Billy.
Yes? Yes, Mikey?
Do you still have the interceptor?
Yes.
Oh, are they good? Huh?
What?
I still running.
What?
What?
I can't hear you. I'd have to fool with my AGC to make you sound good, and that's a lot of work.
Sorry you have such old technology.
It's new technology. It's just I hate clicking this mouse. I wish I had old technology. I could just spin a nice knob.
Sent the gorilla out on the thing. Did you see? It looked just like a gorilla.
What, on the scope?
The waterfall. Now there's a skeleton. See it? This thing looks like faces, man. And, wow. Far out. It looked like one of the faces on Emerson, Lake and Palmer album for a bit. Oh yeah, look at that. Wow. That's a woman.
Oh. That's all the ranges.
You don't even need that vector generator, man. That's a waste of money.
Blee 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 blah. Yeah. It was free, man. I looked that thing up. That's that's good surplus.
Oh, hell yeah, it is. Look at that. It's 3 skeletons looking in 3 directions.
Look how easily amused this guy is.
It's all right, Mike. I realize you're in southern Beechwood, so I know you can't help it. There's something in the water over there. I mean, your trees fall over. There's got to be something in the water.
Oh, W2BTK. I'll be right back.
Roger. W2VW. I hear buckshot. So what are you buying this week, Mike?
Absolutely nothing.
Are you sure? Can I check back with you on Tuesday? Uh-oh.
No, I nothing for ham radio.
Oh, okay.
Lots of ammo and guns to be prepared for my election day.
Yep, that's good. Long as you practice, which I know you do.
Hey, there's Billy with his hunting hat. Looks like he's hunting on ham radio. Sick kid. You're a sick kid. Look at you.
That's actually an Obituary hat. That's one of my favorite bands. Well, look, I do have a little bit more reflected power right now. It's raining. It sure is raining. Oh, yeah, look at that. A little bit of fluctuation there, too. As the trees move, I guess. But that's A-okay. Ooh, look. It's going down. It's going up. It's going down. It's going up. It's like modulating. It's cool. The needle's like kind of going like this. Oh, well.
You ever spark up that fireplace, Paul?
Nah, just all that's good for is pulling all the nice warm air out of the house and sending it up the chimney.
Hey, Billy's got alternative methods of heating.
Yeah, I just gotta open the door behind me.
It's like having your own little bit of the sun.
That's right. I really gotta get my HVAC going with this setup. You know, it's all just dumping out into that room, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, you figured out how to make it through summer with that, and that's nothing to sneeze at.
No, like I said, the nice shade I get from the trees, like my AC system doesn't have to work that hard, so I can run that with the door shut, and that room gets a little bit warm. In the summer, it get about 10 degrees warmer than it does right now. But, you know, I just leave the door shut for a little while. The AC runs. It brings the temperature of the room down. And when it gets close to what it is outside the door, I open the door.
Hey, you can't beat that with a stick.
You know, I mean, the rest of the house will be 70. And that room gets about 90. You know, it doesn't even get any hotter than that, no matter how long I talk. And it takes about an hour or two for it to come down and stabilize. And that's that. It gets about 80 in there this time of year.
It's a nice round figure.
Yeah, man.
Hey, look at that. Almost no indicated average grid current.
I stopped even looking at mine. I've never seen it move much.
Yeah, that's good. That's really, really good. Yeah, you get years and years and years and years out of a tube like that.
Hey, Dave.
Yes, Mike.
So did anybody die on the way to the hospital trying to get through the Garden State Parkway while the Trump supporters were blocking it for 3 hours?
I don't know. How about the protesters that hoped people would die? They couldn't get into the hospital. How about those people?
Yeah, man, this is getting crazy. This is getting out of control. What are we going to do about this?
Posture check. My bad.
In America.
Talk directly to people that you don't agree with about stuff, and stop watching the BS that they call news on television, or listening to the BS on the radio. You need a good BS filter.
Go ahead, Billy.
BS filter? I just key my radio when I want the BS to stop.
I mean, yeah.
I just key up and talk. Dave, and I know at least Dave can hear me, you know, pretty much every time.
I'm really kind of jonesing for a Cormer to come on here so I can grade him.
Yeah, I think...
She's very upset and pissed off.
What happened?
My wife is very furious about the whole 3-hour thing on it. Right, babe? She's furious. She's furious. You hear it?
Well, somebody was backed up for 3 hours on the Parkway.
Oh, she just said, what if I had to go get to my mother's house and I was going somewhere with my kid or something and these derelicts were doing, I mean, you know, think about it. More lives, dude.
What's the difference between that and the crap that happens here every summer when there's a nice weather forecast on the Parkway?
Oh, dude, isn't that crazy? We gotta move.
They need to do is they need to, like 10 times more tolls for anybody with New York plates, and you can only drive in the right lane.
I haven't been on the Parkway in a while. None of these jobs are Parkway jobs, and I'm very glad for that.
Oh man, the muscles in your middle finger are probably going to atrophy.
Dude, I get this nice back road drive. I get on 78 about 10 miles, and then I get off. And I'm on another highway for about 4 or 5 miles, and then it's just back road for like half the drive all the way there.
Is that Boo Boo?
No, Boo Boo's on the floor over here sleeping on that fancy rug.
Yeah, it must be nice back roads. Nothing but you and bears, and occasional deer in headlights.
Oh, there's a lot of deer. It's like running the gauntlet.
W2, very weak.
W2 BTK.
Number 2, Mike Delta X-ray.
Yeah.
I'm good for about another 15 minutes here.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna wrap up soon too. I gotta make some dinner and get everything going for tomorrow.
Yeah, I pull a bunch of surplus stuff off of a shelf downstairs that I'm scrapping the shelf to make room for stuff, and I need to reduce that to parts. The stuff is too good to heave, and it's got a lot of good hardware, so I need to spend a couple hours doing that.
Yeah. I gotta look at all these prints one more time, go over what I got. And it's garbage day!
Oh, man. Yeah, those prints. I used to work with a guy. This guy would spend maybe 2 hours a day doing nothing but paging through the prints on the job. He worked for the general contractor, and it took him a while, but he memorized stuff. And anything that he didn't understand, they had different angles and all notations. I mean, he was really good. Really, really good. He had that kind of a mind. It's like some people are actors and they can memorize the whole entire script and everybody else's lines.
Yeah. It's you know what it is? It's the details in the spec, yeah. They show all this like little specific crap that they want. You can get everything going in your mind, but if you don't have all that stuff memorized, like you can't even begin to really think about the job.
Yeah, I used to have to use Microsoft Project. Have you ever seen that?
No.
It's a software system for people who don't know anything about construction, so that you can make a timeline and you can present it to those who are just plain aim counters.
I gotcha. It sounds like something useful to me.
Well, you might want to look at it, but the thing is, you use this, say you're working on a multi-million-dollar project like you are, and I don't know what the profit margin is on it, but I know where I was at the time for the last place I was working for. There were jobs that were $30 million jobs, and they only had a 3 or 4% profit margin, so there was a lot of liability, and everything was liquidated damages, and you had to have everything spelled out. And what this does, and by the way, we didn't use that there. But what this does is, like, you have timelines for everything. So say you got to pour a floor, right? Well, before you can pour the floor, whatever's going to be in the floor has got to be installed, and then the other trades have to be out of the way. So you have all these colored timelines, you know, that this trade is yellow and the other trade is a different color. All that kind of stuff. Everything intertwines, and you can show it to somebody who may have to make an incremental payment. That's why I had to do it, because the contractors wanted incremental payments, and the bean counters on the other end really didn't have a feel for anything. And it kind of totally went against my way of thinking, where I said always have a backup plan in case somebody throws a wrench in the works, because this thing, as used, it was too simple to have a plan B every day. You couldn't do that. You know what I mean? So it's the other end of the spectrum. That's why I mentioned it, because you may run into something like that.
Yeah. No, this is just kind of like, they have a meeting every week, all the foremen, and talk about what's going to go on the next week, what trades are going to be where, and this and that, and they kind of just leave you to figure it out. It's like, okay, well, they're doing this over here, so we got to go over here, but we got to make sure we get back over there. You know, like, I don't know. Yeah, they don't use that.
Well, thank God for small favors.
You know, I don't want to touch that.
What? The other thing is they change.
Funny.
The other thing, Dave, they changed this thing so much that, like, it's like stupid. I think there's so many revisions. It changes so much. It's just like, okay, like bubble. It's stupid.
T&M, T&M, T&M. You need T-shirts.
That's what it is. I had one of the guys who was on ticket all week last week.
Yeah.
What mic is that, Billy?
Audio Technica 4040. It's a cardioid condenser.
Yeah, very good. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Yes, Mikey, you're right. You need your 6300 back.
100%.
Then you audio. You had really good audio when you had that.
You did.
Moken. Yeah, we're going to get another one and with V3 in it and slap it up on the desk. Wow, I sound like shit. Listen to the audio. 7300's garbage.
Well,
You could, Mikey, you could get yourself a dual channel DDS VFO and some RF mixers and have a better sounding slot bucket rig than a Flex 6300.
too much work. This is Mikey. Mikey, we're talking. Mikey's working as many hours as you are.
That's true, but if you do it that way, like you buy the dual channel VFO and you buy the mixers and you buy some little coax with the tiny ends and you just plumb it all together and feed your signals in. It's not bad.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too bad. Let's see. This is the hand mic. Let me hear something. Okay.
That's easier on the ears, what you just did for people on a noisy band.
Think this is better here?
Yeah, told you that before. You did that hours ago. I thought it was better then, and I still do.
Yeah, I still prefer the foot pedal than this stupid hand mic. I feel like I'm on 11 meters there, Breaker.
Yeah, I can't help you with that problem.
I hate hand mics. They suck.
I liked my CB hand mics.
Remember the old school teardrop? Now, that was a good mic.
Coffin mic.
Those were pretty bad, but some of those CB mics, like the ones that came with the Unitons, the Uniton stock mic actually had pretty good frequency response. Like it didn't hard truncate at like 3,000. I think it went out to like 5. and it had a little bit of lows too. Like it did hard truncate at like 300 hertz or 150. Like it went down a little more.
I like the teardrop that had the tone control. And the other thing is, when you're running power and you put your lip to the grill, you get a nice burn.
DX land.
Remember you used to get a burn on your lip from touching the grill and the mic?
No.
Never.
Never?
No.
Oh, dude, then you guys weren't doing it right.
Maybe, yeah, I think you said that backwards.
Come on, Dave, you never got some lip burns?
No. One time I set up an end-fed antenna at a guy's, he was in an assisted living apartment. And that was the only time I ever got an RF burn off the key. And I was testing that out. It was like the length of wire we got up was a pure voltage feed, and that was bad, so I had to fool with that. That's the only time I really ever got an RF burn like that, anyway.
I have to say, I did get something like that off the mic, like bit on the lip or the hand or something, when I was mobile with the 3x3 parked near stuff, and you know, everything's fluctuating. It happened one time, and then I had to do a little bit of grounding on the radio, and it never happened again.
You took your hair off.
I know, I'm bald because of that truck.
He had the puck right above his head.
Yup. That was stupid.
Speaking of CB, give me a key down here for 5 seconds, guys.
Go ahead, Mike. Yeah, 1111111.
That's almost perfect.
Same signal.
That's almost. I'll send it to you.
It's pretty good there, Billy.
Look, I could key on Mikey. I didn't give you a full 5 seconds, though.
Yeah.
Eesh. What happened? What'd you say, Mike? Hey, Mike.
Oh, mess around with this thing.
Are you getting precip static now, Mike?
What's up?
Are you getting precip static now?
Yeah, and my bungholio.
I'm serious. Are you hearing more QR Nancy?
Hold on, I'm adjusting something here.
I know I am. That video is crazy. I think I got him with the uptick.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's percentage of modulation he's got is so far below where it would be with a 6300. That's the problem with those. That's the problem with 7300s. They don't modulate fully. They just don't have the depth. So you're invisible.
That is the truth.
You gotta have at least 100% positive modulation, or you're just not gonna keep up.
What are you saying, Billy? I'm gonna dumb up like a...
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting video, I gotta say.
Yeah, you're not always that loud here, but you are now.
I got Mikey on lockdown. 1111 W2BTK.
That's really quite silly when you think about it.
Quite.
W2 very weak here on Beechwood Mountain.
And 2 MDX.
Oh, I'm starting to feel a little hungry.
Yeah, it's time to give this a rest. So, good night, Billy and Mikey. And thank you for the fine banter. It's been great. W2 BTK, a great week of work, you guys. And N2MDX, this is W2 very weak here on Beechwood Mountain.
Later, Dave.
Yeah, see you later, guys. Mikey, Dave. Fun to play radio Sunday afternoon. Right? I had fun, so thanks. Catch you later. W2BTK. On to other things.
Good night, Billy.
Night, Mikey.
Later, Dave. And 2 MDX out. Bye.
W2BTK. Well, there we go. Nice, guys. Nice little Sunday ham radio. So I'm gonna pack it in. I gotta go to work tomorrow. I got a little promotion at work and some more responsibility. So I've been studying a set of blueprints all weekend. I'm really thinking about radio, and I'm gonna go back to that while I eat some dinner. So hopefully catch you guys soon. Been pretty busy, but I'm streaming whenever possible. So thanks everybody for hanging out. We'll throw this up on YouTube for documentation purposes, and a nice little Sunday stream. So we'll catch y'all later. Hope you had fun. See you next time. Peace out, guys.